Alright YouTube, I'm back now. Bit of background information on 3751 that I forgot to mention in the first part of this review was that the locomotive is currently restored by the San Bernardino chapter of the National Railroad Historical Society. If I'm wrong, I'll take and include the actual group who operates the locomotive in the description of this part of the video. But I'm just kind of going off the top of my head here for a second with that part, but it's been operationally restored since late 1980s, early 1990s. But 3751 is not, like I mentioned in the first part of this video, is not the only locomotive of its class preserved. The other one is number 3759, which is one of the other 5 road numbers available for this run from Broadway Limited. Now, as far as this locomotive is concerned, again, it looks exactly as it does nowadays, with the black smoke box with gray or silver smoke box front. You've got the separately applied brass bell there, feed water heater, the old school style cowcatcher style pilot. Now it comes with a dummy knuckle coupler on front, and it does not include a replacement operating one. However, if I turn the locomotive on its side here, you can see that the dummy is just held in place by a screw. So should you choose to take and fit it with an operating front knuckle coupler, it's easy enough to do so. Personally, I'd recommend, given how far the dummy sticks out from there, I'd probably recommend a Katie long shank scalehead coupler, just for the sake of realism. Now, up front, you've got, like with the 261, you've got the air pumps hidden down in here between the steps beneath the smoke box. The gray painted smokestack, which is accurate, along with this gray square here. That is accurate to how the locomotive does currently look. I've checked videos of how it looks nowadays, and that is accurate. I had originally thought that was not accurate, but looking at actual videos of the locomotive nowadays proved me wrong. Now down here, just above the running plate, once I get it into focus, you've got the builder's plate. That is legible under magnification. However, my phone is not able to focus enough to get that in there enough for you to read all the fine lettering, but it is legible. Now you've got the flying number boards here, which is right in front of the sand dome, if I'm not mistaken, which is accurate for the real life engine, with 3751 on there with clear legible stencil style lettering as accurate. 3751 on the sides of the sand dome in the accurate Railroad Roman style font. Some turned brass safety valves and a turned brass whistle, all separately applied. And down here you've got all metal valve gear linkage along the driving wheels, with again the correct, for as it is now, 80-inch box pock drivers. The air tank right down here below the running board as accurate. Black painted firebox sides with a little bit of gray sticking out along the bottom as accurate for the prototype. Cab window sunshades. Windows, however, do not open. However, I did notice mine is missing the window glazing on that front window on the fireman's side. But, oh well. It does have opening roof vents on both sides of the cab roof. However, unlike the Milwaukee Road S3 and a few other newer steam engines, because this is an older tooling, well, an older model just being released, it does not have an interior cab light. All the interior detail is there. It's just not painted, and sorry if it's facing the wrong way from the light. Give me a second to turn the locomotive around so you can at least somewhat see in there. There we go. Cab does look accurate to what the real life engine looks like in terms of the cab detailing, but it also lacks cab crew figures like you see in a lot of their engines. And that right there is the front of the oil tender. Not much detail to it, but even in real life it's rather plain given it's an oil bunker instead of coal bunker, so you don't have the hatch into the coal bunker itself. Now, the tender detail, you got the little, I'm assuming, battery box down here, right in the center of the tender. You got one on the other side as well. If those aren't the battery boxes, feel free to correct me in the comments. That is either another air pump or part of the injector system, but it does look like another air compressor in addition to the one up here hidden between the steps. Now, accurate Santa Fe lettering on the tender in the railroad Roman font and kind of a metallic silver. The top is accurate to the prototype. You don't really see much of it very often unless you get a shot of it, you know, going under a bridge from on top of it. But you do have the handrails that do sit on top of the tender. Water fill hatches are in the correct spots. A ladder going up the back with the fuel capacity and water capacity on the tail end of the tender. Once again with legible printing with the 3751 number partially hidden behind the ladder. Not sure if that's accurate for the real life engine, but it's nice that they still included the number on the back of the tender. The rear tender light in the position it is in on the real life engine. Now, engineer's side, for the detail, not much different, except for you have, on the driver's side, well, engineer's side, you have the throttle linkage hidden right here just behind the handrail on the tender, with the second valve, or the first valve right by the steam dome, right here just behind the whistle, continuing to run up the boiler to here where the secondary valve would be. Yeah, it's accurate for the prototype and a lot of the later steam engines from, you know, the 1920s onwards. Now, this one, as Broadway Limited advertised, does have a smoke unit. However, as with my model of the S3, with the switch hidden under the cab, I turned off the smoke unit. Now, like with the other Broadway Limited Paragon 2 and 3 steam engines, you can actually turn the smoke unit on and off with the DCC function of 7, but since I really don't use the smoke units very often, I just turn it off with the switch underneath. But on top you also got the steam-powered electric generator here. And again, not much different for the detail on the driver's side, well, engineer's side. Other than the fact you've got another air tank here. And the reversing gear, because this locomotive, being a big engine, does have, well, as well as being a modern steam engine, does have the power reverse, which a lot of the later engines did have. Next video I will make will probably be in a few days, and I'll take and have this engine plus the 261 running side by side, seeing as I promised you guys back with the 261 review a while ago that I would make a video of, you know, that one running, showing off the sound functions. I promise you that will happen. It'll happen a couple of days from now. I've got some Kato track coming in from model train stuff. Now, as far as what model train retailers have this in stock, you can always check your local hobby shops. However, I did see that Train World has some of these back of this road number back in stock. And Train World and model train stuff, last I checked, had 2 of 3751. But there are, again, 4 other road names plus road numbers plus an unlettered version available. The other road numbers, again, are 3759, 3761, and then I think 3754 and 3756, I think. But I know 3761 and 3759 are 2 of the other road numbers available, along with, you know, the unlettered, and obviously 3751 itself. Well, this video's going for a while, so I'm going to take and cut off here. Next video will be in a couple of days, showing this one running, pulling a couple of Walthers heavyweights that I've got in Santa Fe. Okay, so until then, Mach Racer 4 signing off.